Seiho was born with remarkable abilities, and from an early age, the adults around him believed he was destined for greatness. However, his peers saw him as an oddity and often mocked and isolated him. 18 years ago, humanity teetered on the brink of destruction when otherworldly creatures known as dimensionals invaded from another realm. At first, humans lacked effective weapons to combat them. Eventually, individuals with unique psychic powers, referred to as phase power, emerged. These people had the strength to fight back against the monsters and seal the dimensional rifts they came through. They became known as closers and worked under the Union organization. At present, Sylvie is delivering a speech at the graduation ceremony of the Union Youth Training Program. Having graduated at the top of her class, she is given the honor of addressing her peers. Her outstanding performance earns her the role of captain of Team Black Lambs, and she sets out to meet her teammates. She runs into Seiho, who is casually walking and playing a handheld game. She greets him and introduces herself as the new team leader. However, Seiho shows no interest and brushes past her. Sylvie asks him to stop, but he continues walking, stating he already turned down an offer from Kim because he sees no reason to become a closer. Sylvie explains that the Black Lambs aren't just another training group. They are the first team of miners selected to engage in real combat. It's a recognition of their exceptional abilities. But Seiho remains unmoved, arguing that all phase users will be drafted into the Union once they're adults, so he wants to enjoy normal life while he can. Sylvie is puzzled, having believed that people with phase powers naturally feel compelled to defend humanity. Seiho dismisses that notion, finding the idea unappealing. Sylvie criticizes him for being selfish and immature, which triggers a painful response. Seiho grabs her arm and tells her she knows nothing about what he's been through, then walks away, clearly upset. That night, a former Union scientist named Kalbach appears through a dimension gate. Now half monster due to a failed illegal experiment, he places a device near a power station, hoping his experiments will bring salvation to humanity. He's now aligned with powerful dimensional beings known as the Masters and has joined their mysterious legion. The next day, Sylvie reports to the Union branch and is welcomed by Kim, the team's manager. Kim is surprised by the new high-end training tech. Sylvie gets excited about the latest virtual training program, and Bitna, their tech support, helps her gear up. Kim expresses regret about failing to recruit Seiho and shares that he's the son of a legendary closer who played a vital role in the dimensional war. This revelation helps Sylvie understand why he reacted so strongly to her earlier remarks. As Sylvie enters the virtual training, Kalbach's device activates, opening a dimensional gate. Sword-wielding monsters pour through and attack the power station, causing a total blackout at the Union facility. Bitna panics when the backup power also goes out and emergency protocols lock her out of the system, leaving Sylvie trapped in the virtual world. Kim tries to call for reinforcements, but all available agents are tied up. Remembering that Seiho lives near the affected power station, she calls Ran from the transport unit to reach him. She also phones Seiho, pleading with him to help. He refuses at first but reluctantly agrees when Kim promises never to contact him again if he helps this one time. Before Seiho can hang up, Ran arrives at his door, tosses him onto her bike, and speeds through the city streets. He nearly falls off and vomits upon arrival. Ran throws him a gun sword and points to the swarm of monsters. Without hesitation, Seiho leaps into action, slicing through the enemies with precision and finishing them with a devastating phase-powered strike. He heads to the Union headquarters afterward, where Kim and Bitna thank him. Although they're disappointed that he doesn't plan to join, Kim makes one final offer. Seiho agrees, on the condition that he can quit whenever he wants. Kim accepts. Sylvie wakes up soon after and learns that Seiho rescued her. She thanks him sincerely. Later, during a team meeting, tensions rise as Seiho clashes with Sylvie, who is frustrated by his indifference. He ignores the discussion and plays his handheld game, leaving the rest of the team anxious and on edge. Sylvia is jolted awake by a nightmare of the monster attack that separated her from her parents. Tears stream down her cheeks as she clutches the necklace that belonged to her family. But her grief is cut short when urgent news flashes across her screen. An explosion has just rocked the city. Switching through different channels, Sylvia watches survivors describe how a terrifying creature emerged from the blast. Many hope that the Union will be able to deal with the threat. She quickly heads to Union headquarters, where she finds a note from Bitna saying the virtual training system is fully operational again. Sylvia steps into the lab just as Seiha is finishing up his session in the simulator. As he relaxes with a drink, he gestures toward the screen showing their new recruit, Yuri, currently in the middle of training. She effortlessly clears a particularly tough stage, impressing everyone watching. Kim remarks on her fast improvement, and Bitna shares that Yuri now ranks highest among all new trainees. Seha is amazed, considering Yuri only awakened her phase powers a year ago. Kim reveals that before discovering her abilities, Yuri had already proven her skill by winning a national-level kendo championship. Now in the training area, Yuri continues demonstrating her talents, skillfully dispatching monsters with coordinated strikes using her katana handgun hybrid. Sylvia watches in admiration and admits that no one at the academy was ever this talented. She's glad to have someone as dependable as Yuri on their team. Once Yuri exits the simulation, she's greeted warmly and immediately recognizes Seha from their adjacent classrooms. Hoping to build camaraderie, she expresses her desire to work together well. She then turns to Sylvia and compliments her appearance. Kim cuts the moment short, praising Yuri for her excellent performance and assures her that she'll receive the benefits of a full closer, like housing and a solid paycheck, once she officially ranks up. Sylvia enters the simulator next, showing off her telekinetic powers. Kim is pleased with her progress and expresses hope that she and Yuri become good friends. After the training, Sylvia reflects on that idea while walking home. She coincidentally runs into Yuri, struggling with grocery bags, and offers to help. As they walk together, Yuri opens up about how she had to quit competing in kendo after her phase powers awakened. She's excited about being a closer, although it worried her parents at first. Sylvia notices the special devices Yuri wears to help control and develop her abilities. Yuri had wanted to watch Sylvia's session, but had to leave to buy ingredients to cook for her siblings. She invites Sylvia to join them for dinner. Slightly flustered, Sylvia accepts. At Yuri's home, her younger brothers rush to greet her. She asks Sylvia to keep an eye on them while she prepares the meal. At first, Sylvia assumes the kids are wary of her unusual hair and eye color, but she soon realizes they were just trying to create a fun, safe space. They run around playing until one stumbles. Sylvia quickly uses her telekinesis to lift him before he hits the ground. His brother joins in, and soon both boys are flying around the room, pretending to be airplanes. But the mood shifts when one of them almost grabs Sylvia's necklace, which had slipped from her pocket. She drops both boys in panic, quickly retrieving the heirloom. Though the boys laugh it off, she apologizes and leaves in a rush. Yuri glances at her brothers with quiet disappointment, silently blaming them for upsetting Sylvia. Later that evening, Sylvia sits at home, worried she may have hurt the boys. Her doorbell rings. It's Yuri, delivering Sylvia's share of the meal. She steps inside, surprised by how spacious the captain's apartment is. After some chit-chat, Yuri tries to leave, but Sylvia stops her, confessing that it's the first time anyone has visited her home. Touched, Yuri decides to stay. The two girls spend the evening watching a show and sharing cake. The next day at headquarters, Seha observes the girls acting like best friends. He wonders whether they'll stick together for long, and quietly hopes a male teammate will eventually join, so he has someone to bond with too. Meanwhile, a young man named Jay visits the bank only to find out his account is empty. Unbothered, he cheekily asks the teller to grab a health drink with him, using his last bit of money. She smiles politely, then calls for security. As he's escorted out, Jay figures it must be his unusual eyes that scared her. Wanting to make a better impression with his future team, he decides to wear glasses to hide them. Elsewhere, Kim is in a heated discussion with her superior. She's frustrated that the Black Lambs have been assigned a live combat mission, especially since Yuri still struggles to fully control her powers. She argues that they should deploy a veteran team instead. Her boss explains that there's a staffing shortage and reveals he's already asked Jay to join their squad. Jay, a seasoned fighter from the original Dimensional War, is expected to help balance the team's lack of field experience. With increasing threats to the city, the boss insists that every capable closer must be prepared for combat. Back at school, Seha plays video games during gym class with a friend. He glances up just in time to notice Yuri watching the kendo team from the other side of the gym. At school, the Black Lambs enter a simulation to improve their team combat skills. However, their strategy fails, and it's obvious something is off with Yuri. Later, Jay sneaks into the lab and surprises Bitna by pointing out that Yuri's movements were clumsy and unusual. The reason soon becomes clear. Yuri is preoccupied with the memory of when her phase abilities first awakened during a kendo tournament. She was disqualified because using supernatural powers is against the rules in such events. The next day, Seiho notices Yuri lingering outside the gym again. He calls her over and offers her one of his chocolate lollipops. They sit on a bench together, and Seiho gently brings up her performance in training, saying he knows she's been thinking about kendo and how much she misses it. He suggests she let go of who she was before awakening her powers, or it might hold her back. She considers his words and thanks him before walking off. Jay, who had been eavesdropping, confronts Seiho and says that telling Yuri that may have hurt her deeply. Seiho, confused about who Jay even is, insists he just spoke the truth. Jay thinks Seiho can't really understand Yuri's pain unless he's experienced kendo himself. That night, Seiho reflects on his own difficult childhood. He asks Bitna to build a dojo in the training simulation. The next day, he sees Yuri watching the kendo team practice again and invites her to join him. Inside the sim, she's surprised to see the dojo. Seiho apologizes for being insensitive before. Touched by the gesture, Yuri blushes. Since both of them have powers, they can spar without restrictions. When Yuri asks if he wants to back out, Seiho takes offense and attacks, leading to an exchange of strikes. Yuri struggles to control her abilities during the fight, but Seiho reminds her that he's also enhanced. His competitive attitude makes her laugh, and she agrees to a rematch. The rest of the Black Lambs show up to watch. After training, Jay is officially introduced as the team's newest member and battlefield mentor. Seiha is surprised, recognizing him from before. During introductions, Jay has a brief medical moment and admits he needs fruit juice to recover, which explains why he's always drinking some. The others find his behavior odd and question his ability to lead them in real combat. Meanwhile, Sylvie enrolls at Seiha and Yuri's school. Her appearance catches the attention of many students, who speculate about her strength and whether she might destroy the school if angered. Sylvie isn't fazed. She never expected a normal school life anyway. She ends up in the same class as Seiha, who's too caught up in a video game to greet her properly. He thinks he finally beat his gaming rival, only to find the guy was too distracted by Sylvie to play seriously. Seiha figures that admiration will fade once they see how she talks. Later, Sylvie gets a message from Kim. Their training location has changed to the abandonment mall. She lets Seiha and Yuri know that future training will be held in the real world, not the sim. After school, the group meets at the mall and reminisces about how lively it used to be. Jay interrupts to explain that 3 years ago, a huge dimensional rift opened there. After the monsters were cleared out, the place was sealed off and turned into a training site. Energy in the area is unstable, so special devices were installed to regulate it. The system notifies them of any monster activity, so Jay reassures them it's safe. He then explains the test. They have 5 minutes to catch him, and he'll be allowed to attack during the final minute. This exercise will determine their readiness for real combat. Jay makes it clear he won't go easy. The test begins. Eager to finish and go home, Seiha and Yuri rush in without planning. Sylvie is left behind, unable to discuss tactics. She quickly joins in as the team attacks. Jay casually evades them with his hands in his pockets. As the captain, Sylvie tries to coordinate their efforts, but they ignore her. Jay easily deflects their moves for 4 minutes. Please subscribe for next part.